of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Everyone, welcome to Micronesia's INCRadio satellite studio. If you are new to our channel, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone tuning in. I'm your host for this evening, Sister Anne from the local of Machanal, and we have a very special topic for you all this evening. But before we dive into our discussion, I do want to introduce my other crew member here with me, Sister Arlene.
Yes, Sister Anne, thank you so much. Yes, if you have not known me, I'm Sister Arlene from the local congregation of Guam, so hashtag Guam. And also, I am your host and producer this evening as well with Sister Anne. And I'm so excited for this topic, Sister Anne, because it's a very reflective and we have awesome guests tonight that will actually be talking about this topic. And what is the topic this evening, Sister Anne?
Yes, thank you, Sister Arlene. And the topic for this evening is what I learned about myself this year. And it's a very timely topic, just like what Ate Aria mentioned, especially with the end of the year coming closer. And I'm so happy because our guests for the evening are two very dear friends of mine who I hold closely to my heart. So, without further ado, I want to introduce them to you all, starting with Sister Jobal. Can you please tell everyone viewing about yourself, like your duties, your work, as well as any hobbies that you may have?
Hello po, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. My name is Sister Jobel Tabuana. I am an adult choir member in the church as well as the CWS secretary. I am a help desk technician, so I'm in the IT field of things. So yeah, that's my career. And I'm also doing online school, so I'm also a student as well.
Yes, thank you, Sister Jobal. As you can see, Sister Jobal is a very busy person. So thank you so much for joining us here today. Now we want to introduce another familiar face here on INCRadio, Sister Krisha.
Hello for everyone. I am Sister Krisha and I am so happy to be back here in INCRadio. And I am from the local congregation of Coblerville. So just like Sister Jobel, I am also an adult choir member. I am a CDWS teacher and the district Kadiwa vice president. And regarding my career, well, my job right now is that I am the college here, college cashier. So maybe I'm not that busy like Sister Jobel, but that's mine. That's what I do.
No, thank you, Sister Krisha. We have two very busy sisters here with us, and I'm really excited to dive into this topic with the both of you because I know that for all of us, we've all personally have gone through our own set of challenges, right, as well as our achievements within this year alone. So I want to start by asking Sister Jobal, what is something that you have gone through this year that has shifted your outlook in life?
I think this year, my biggest thing that has changed my outlook on life is definitely being able to value alone time. So I definitely do struggle a lot with alone time. I think I'm constantly always wanting, to distract myself or to surround myself with other people. And this year alone, I have spent a lot of alone time, and I realize it's not so much of a bad thing. It actually can lead to personal growth, and I feel like I've grown a lot as a person.
Yes, thank you for sharing that with us, Sister Jova. I completely agree with you because I feel like this year you really learn how to like be alone and independent, right? Like a lot of people need to constantly have themselves surrounded with other people. But I think what you said is true. I think for me personally, I want to start off this discussion on a deeper level because I think even for everyone viewing, this is something that we all may be needing to reflect on in our journey this year, right? There are so many things that this year alone that I feel like has changed my outlook on life, and it has also I don't want to go too much into detail, but like what you said, Sister Jobal, like this was a year where I myself had to have an unexpected challenge where I was living alone with my sister, right? So I think that kind of connects to what Jobal is saying about like you have to really have that alone time, and really it helps us grow to really be on our own, right? And I think it also taught us to learn to face the world on our own. And I think also another challenge was also losing people who are like dear to us, right? And I think those challenges, I feel like we can all relate to it in a way. And it's also made me reflect on like how can I be like a better person or like a better friend, right? Because as humans we know that we're not perfect, and it's made me even want to check up on my friends more often, right? And see if they're okay. And I feel like those small moments, like those really matter, right? And I think that's something that I've learned this year. I want to ask Sister Krisha the same question. What's something that has shifted the way that you view life in this year alone?
So, as for me, my outlook on life shifted when I had to jump through different employments this year. And it's because it made me realize, like, what I prefer, not prefer, considering our faith and values in the church. It also made me realize, like, what's professional or not professional in the workplace, and how my job would help me take care of my family.
Yes, thank you, Sister Krisha, for sharing that. I like how you mentioned this is not only for like our personal lives, but even in the work field, we learn more about ourselves and like what we do want in our job, as well as like what we don't want in our career, right? I think that's why it's good to really experience as much as you can to fully understand what's best for you in life, right? At the R, like you really have to experience whatever it is that you want in your career. So, adding to this question, I want to ask Sister Jobel, what were the struggles that you faced that you felt were hard to overcome, and how did you overcome them?
Oh, that's a good question. So, I feel like the biggest struggle I dealt with this year was definitely finding balance between work and studies, and then also making sure that I set aside time to fulfill my duties inside the church. And I think um, the biggest thing, or like the biggest takeaway that I took from this, is definitely showing up. And I feel like that's the biggest, um, I guess, the biggest the biggest thing that you should feel proud of yourself for is just showing up.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. Was there, I want to ask you, was there like a specific like event or something that really kind of triggered you where you're like, oh, I don't know if I can overcome this, but then you were able to get over that? Can you kind of explain to us if you had like that kind of experience?
For that question, I definitely do think when I was preparing for a really big certification exam,
Mm-hmm.
I really struggled with setting time aside, and I sort of felt alone, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. So
Yeah.
what I did is I reached out to like a couple of friends if they could study with me at the cafe, and it really
Mm-hmm.
helped with the loneliness that I was facing. I feel like
Oh,
when you're working full time and also a full time student, you don't really have time to have fun and hang out with friends. It's more of
yeah.
I'm constantly having to work, having to study. So it was
Yeah.
definitely finding the balance between the two.
Yeah, that's true. I think finding that balance so that you don't feel too burnt out when you're focusing more on one thing, right? So I think that's really true, Sister Joelle. And I think when we face difficult times, it's hard to maintain a positive mindset, right? Especially when
Yes.
those things are like inevitable, right? We don't know what's gonna happen, but I think as members, it's so crucial to have those moments where we just let go and let God take care of us in
That's
those
so
moments.
true, sister.
Yeah, and it's true that like prayer is so powerful when we feel like we are at our weakest state, right? That's something
Hmm.
that we always keep in mind. So I feel like that's even more essential part of our life. How about you, Sister Krisha? What are the challenges that you had to face and how did you overcome them?
So I actually struggled trying not to get sick or over fatigue. I also struggled thinking if the workload is for me, thinking do I just keep up with it or do I find another job? Or what if I don't find another job and not being able to help my family or fulfill my duties.
Yeah.
But other than that, I overcame those struggles because even until now, I would always remind myself about our theme last year. It's the
Mm-hmm.
we're advised to continue to believe in, trust in, and rely on what God can do for us. And
Yes.
what you said, Sister Anne, prayers are very powerful, and I really take that to heart.
Yes, I think you said that perfectly, Sister Krisha. I know that you are a very busy person, and sometimes I even think to myself, like, how does she do all this and still have a positive mindset? So I love how you share that. And I love how you also mentioned about believing, trusting, and relying on what God can do for us, because it's so true, right? When we feel like we're becoming overwhelmed or like things are impossible to overcome, that's when God will truly show us what He can do for us in those moments. So, but tying into our experiences, what can you guys say that you have learned about yourselves in this year alone? I'll start off with asking Sister Jobel.
The things that I've learned about myself this year is that number one, I am more resilient than I think I am. And
Mm-hmm.
I would say that I am able to adapt very well to situations that are thrown at me. So, um, that being said, usually I just tell myself to be patient. You know, things don't always turn out the way they that you want them right away. And like
Mm-hmm.
what Sister Krisha said earlier, and what you, Sister Anne, said as well, is to like go and let God, and just to be patient and trust in His plan that He has for you.
Yes, that's so true, Sister Jobel. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like this year was filled with a lot of like personal growth, and I think that I know I've learned a lot of things about myself that are like my weaknesses as well as my strengths, and I like what you mentioned, Sister Jobel, that you didn't know that you had that, right? You didn't know you were so resilient, and I think it makes us reflect on what we can do and how we can improve those things that we're lacking in, right? And to become a better person and most especially a better servant for our Almighty God. So I want to ask also Sister Krisha as well on what her personal growth has been like this year, because I know that you have also gone through many major events this year. So what have you learned about yourself?
I totally agree that 2024 has got to be the most eventful year of my life. It was just a
Yeah.
roller coaster, challenges. But what I learned about myself is that just like what we all, do whenever there's like a challenge, we all grow.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that I'm learning different emotions from situations I never thought I would even go through. But other than that, I learned, and it's really it's really something I'm confident with, that our
Mm-hmm.
Almighty God truly loves His people, and that He comforts me during my struggles. So
Yes. Yes, that's very true. We go through emotions that, like what you mentioned, Sister Krisha, that we never thought we would even have to go through, right? And I think that depicts this year as a whole with all the unexpected challenges and even the great moments that we go through. The highs always come with the lows, right? I think another thing that I tell myself when I'm going through like major moments in my life is I try to channel my grandparents. Like for you, Sister Christian and Sister Jobel, do you guys have like inspirations in your life? Like, who's your guys' biggest inspirations, would you say? I'll ask Sister Jobel first.
I would say my biggest inspirations are definitely my parents and, of course, my
Mm-hmm.
siblings. They are also really resilient. I feel like a lot has been thrown at them, and
Mm-hmm.
there were moments where, they're the most positive things about them were taken advantage of by other people. And
Yeah.
one thing that I wish, sometimes being a little bit too kind is can lead to some bad things to happen. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm really proud of my parents because despite all that has been going on, they still choose to be kind. And I feel like that's very inspirational.
Yes, I agree with you, Sister Jobel. How about you, Sister Krisha? Who are your biggest inspirations in life?
My biggest inspirations is you, Sister Faye,
Uh,
Sister Jobel, Sister Arlene. Okay, but other
Aw.
than that, I'm very inspired by everyone that I know, especially like hearing them out with their challenges and just
Yes.
seeing them go through it. Yeah, everyone is my inspiration, but of course my family, my mom, and
Yes.
yeah, you also gotta be proud of yourself. You have to
Yeah.
be inspired by your own self. Like you're the one that
Yes.
put yourself in, push yourself through out of that challenge.
Yes, that's very true. Thank you guys for sharing your inspirations. So connecting to that, I was saying that I channel my grandparents, right? Because they're my biggest inspirations in life. And when I think about it, especially in our generation, and we see the challenges that we face, right? Sometimes I think it's probably it can't surmount to what they had to go through in their time, right? And so I always ask myself, what would they do in this moment? And it's always the same thing. We always rely on God for comfort, right? So that kind of connects to what Sister Christian was saying about always seeking God for comfort in these times. So that leads us to our last question, which is reflecting on these times, why do you think it is all the more essential to seek God's help in entering a new year? We'll have Sister Jobel answer first.
Well, first things first, I think it's always important to always seek God, always, even during the bad times and more with the good times. Um, Seeking His guidance with things that you're unsure of will help very much. I think what I learned is to stop worrying so much and to just to be patient and believe that God got you.
Yes, I completely agree with that, Sister Jovel. I think that having that trust in God, even when we don't know what our futures look like, it really showcases our faith and how much it is that we truly do trust in Him, right? How about you, Sister Krisha? Why do you think it's so important entering the new year?
I agree with Sister Jobel because we don't know what'll happen next year, just like how we don't know what will happen tomorrow. So it's essential to seek our Almighty God because we have to remember that He is the one that blessed us with this life and everything comes from Him. And to think that we're, almost ending the year, our Almighty God has been with us, He's protected us, and He helped us overcome those challenges and allowed us to see like who we can be, like who we can grow to into. So yeah, that's why.
Yes, I agree with you, Sister Krisha. Art, do you have anything you would like to say about our discussion for the evening?
Hi, Sister Anne. Yes, I do. I just want to first thank Sister Krisha. You definitely inspire me. You are such a powerful sister who has
Sister
so many.
Arlene, we all inspire each other.
So, but thank you. You know, you've always heed the call to our invitation here on INC Radio. So, I want to thank you so much. And I want to say to Sister Jabel, that the way you talk and the experiences that you have conquered this entire year, so real, so reflective, so understanding, and also very true. I think everyone needs to practice resilience, and I think this is the year where we have been tested in everyone's different ways, but of course, like what Sister Anne said, and everyone else here said, it's really God who gives us the strength to really go on, right? And that's pretty much what we want to be able to be thankful for, right? And especially our our end of the year Thanksgiving is coming up, and this is a great way to refresh our minds and to understand that what we are really thankful for, and what we can reflect on to give more thanks to what we have gone through, and such a blessing. And I'm glad, sisters, you are there, and you have done so much this year, in your studies or even in your offices. And I want to thank you so much for being here, Sister Anne. You're such a great host tonight with all the questions that so relatable, and I can't explain them enough to you. But I feel like this is very emotional. But I want to just say thank you again. Good way of and starting the end of the year, of being more reflective of what we have done this year, right? Yes, heart, Sister Krisha. We wanted to play a game this evening with both of you guys, both of you sisters, but we're actually running out of time. But you know what? We can't forget our supporters in the YouTube chat. So we want to go ahead and go dive into that. So, Brother RY, take it away.
Thank you, Sister Arlene, and thank you everyone for joining us. And I hope everyone is having a great time. So up next, I'll be reading your comments with Sister Marisol. But before that, if you are new to our broadcast and would like to support us, and you have your comments read, here's how you can support us.
Hello, Team Live Chat! We love hearing from you, but we want to know, where are you tuning in from?
Have you heard about our hashtag challenge?
That's right! Don't forget to hashtag your local congregation in the comments down below.
Not only that, hashtag your CFO too.
And at the end of the show, find out who won our hashtag challenge.
Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the show.
Thank you, Kuya Tech. I will be reading some comments now. The first one I see is Sister Michelle Giang. She said, half a day po to all kapatid in the District of Micronesia and advance happy birthday po to Brother John Michael Balmonte. Hashtag Garapan, Buklod, and Buklod. And then we have Brother Jeff Soriano. He said, hello po, hashtag Garapan and hashtag Buklod. We also have our sister Erin Villegas. She said, good evening po to the District of Micronesia. Hashtag Buklod and hashtag Garapan and hashtag Cobblerville. We also have Sister Savannah Bree Galvez. She said, happy viewing po everyone from the local congregation of Cobblerville. We also have our ministers in Machanao, which is Brother Menaleo Dinogan. He said, good evening po to all brethren, hashtag Buklod and hashtag Machanao. We also have our sister, Jade Pasha. She said, good evening po, INCRadio Micronesia. I wasn't here last week, but I'm glad to be back again. Always excited. Thank you. We miss you, Sister Jade, because last week I didn't see you. So now you're here. We're happy. We're good. Next is we have our sister Didi Pasha. She said, happy viewing po to all brethren, hashtag Saipan and hashtag Buklod. We also have our sister Eileen Quilencha. She said, good evening, INCRadio Micronesia. Looking forward for today's show po. But that's all for now. I know Sister Marcel that I missed a lot. So can you read some comments that I've missed?
I would be happy to, Brother Arwe, and we want to always thank everyone who takes the time to join us in our live chat. We want to thank our district staff who has joined us today, Brother Roger, Brother RJ, and Brother Julius Malabanan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, but we always love hearing from you. From other districts, we do have Sister Jocelyn Fernandez greeting us from the locale of Rosario in the district of Lingayen, Pangasinan. We also have other brethren joining us from Koror, Palau, Brother Belmar Joe Baglik. So we love hearing from everyone. In regards to our discussion, we do have some really cool contributions in the chat. Sister Faye, she says, this year my best friend, aka sister, and I had to adjust to living temporarily far away from our parents, and that has definitely tested us to finding our truest self and growing more faithful. So lots of very cool interactions happening in the chat. So we always look forward to that.
Thank you, Sister Marisol and Brother RY. Now we want to see what is happening in CFO Action with Sister Arlene.
Let's go ahead and see what's happening with our district. We want to go ahead and make sure that we get to see you in our upcoming activity, which is our family picnic. This is going to be held regionally. Please look forward to all the details that will be actually probably mentioned in our district meeting this coming Monday. So family picnic at the end of the month, and also to help each other just have that camaraderie and brotherhood. So please see us there on that event.
Yes, thank you, Sister Arlene. Now we want to share the local hashtag winner from last week's broadcast, which is the local of Garapan! So congratulations po. Now let's give a drum roll for the most supportive brethren, which is Sister Michelle Gian. So congratulations po and congrats to all the winners. Thank you po for always supporting us here on INC Radio. Now we want Brother RY to invite everyone to next week's broadcast.
Thank you, Sister Anne. Join us for our next broadcast on Saturday, December 21, 2024 at 10 p.m. Chamorro Standard Time. The title of our next broadcast is Looking Ahead in 2025. We got something exciting planned and we love for you to be part of it. Mark your calendars and tune in for the great time together. See you there.
Thank you, Brother RY. Now we'll have Sister Arlene do the end of the show greetings and thank yous.
Yes, thank you, Sister Anne. We want to go ahead and thank and greet our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. Thank you so much for approving our broadcast this evening. And to our Subsea President, CEO, and CFO Coordinator, Brother Angelo Arano Manalo, we hope you're doing well and your family is all safe and well. We want to also mention a little bit of a greeting. So can I go ahead and just mention that right now? Want to say from Roger Manzanilla Jr., he says, happy belated birthday to Sister Jen Carlos and Sab Sapilo. And also, happy birthday, advanced birthday to EJ Villegas, Vilmar Espiritu, and Edison Angel Crelencio. Happy birthday, po. I want to just mention that out there because Roger is making that shout out, po.
Thank you, Sister Arlene. And for the rest of the greetings, Brother RY.
Thank you, Sister Anne. We will also like to say thank you to our District Minister, Brother Joben Cipilio Jr., our Assistant District Minister, Brother Julius Malabanan, our CFO Overseer, Brother Roger Manzanilla Jr., our DMA Advisor, Brother Rogers Villegas Jr., also our crew members here in Saipan, Sister Gwen, Bam, Jillian, and Brother Matt, Judah, and Husky. In Guam side, we have Sister Arlene, Anne, Faye, Sister Evie, Sister Maria, and Sister Marisol, and Brother Randy, Michael, Sean, and also our executive producer, Brother Emmanuel Andaya.
Yes, thank you, Brother RY and Sister Arlene. And thank you to everyone viewing and who has joined us this evening. Our broadcast is now coming to a close, so we want to say good night, Micronesia. Coming up next is Washington, D.C. Satellite Studio. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Sister Anne, I just want to say it's actually Florida. It's going to be up next. So, INC Radio Florida, thank you. We'll see you.